Welcome to Bump Set Chat, the podcast where volleyball professionals come on and share their stories, experiences, and advice. And I have beach legend Taylor Crabb. Welcome.
Thank you.
So glad you're able to take the time to come on and join us. And the way we start things off is we do a few random questions. So are you ready?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. Favorite movie?
Ooh, Happy Gilmore.
Nice. Are you excited for number 2 coming out?
Absolutely.
Nice.
I mean, all the sequels don't really live up to the originals, so I don't
That
have
is true.
I don't have high hopes, but it's,
All right. So, you're on the road. You're coming home for the first time in a while. What meal are you looking forward to the most?
are you like coming back to California or
Yeah,
Hawaii?
all right, well, let's go Hawaii. You're going back to Hawaii for the first time in a while. What is that one meal you're looking forward to?
I always get a poke bowl from a couple different places, but yeah, that's normally my first stop.
All right. Yeah, a lot of Hawaiian guys talk about the spam wrapped in seaweed or something.
That musubi.
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
Have you ever had one?
Nope. I
Oh man,
can't. Is it
yeah.
good?
They're a treat, but I mean, they're obviously not the healthiest thing, but
Yeah.
they're.
Nice. All right, final question. Who's a better trash talker, you or your brother, Trevor?
I mean, that's a good one, just because people think it's him, just because of the amount of trash talk he does. But if you really get me going, I can get you where it hurts. So, well, I'll say him just because he does it more, and that's what he's known for.
Maybe on the pro circuit when they start broadcasting this, maybe a pay-per-view aspect is to mic up the guys.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've been starting to do that during the matches,
Yeah.
but it definitely make it more interesting. You definitely have to bleep out a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. All right. Well, hey, welcome to the podcast. So let's start things off. Where are you from?
From Honolulu, Hawaii. Grew up there my whole life, born and raised, and then I've been in SoCal, Redondo Beach, basically ever since I graduated from Long Beach State.
Nice. And I got to go way back. Where does the nickname the Bug come from?
That was just from my parents, my family, and all my brother and his friends growing up playing volleyball. All of my friends my age didn't really play volleyball, so whenever I did play, it was, with my brother and the older guys. So I was always the smaller, more scrawny little kid around there, and they just called me the bug because I was a little annoying kid to them.
And now, growing up on the island, what is the sport, mainly that the guys play?
I mean, football's huge.
Yeah.
Uh, Basketball, baseball. I mean, all the normal sports are big, but beach volleyball is definitely uh, taking its stride and growing pretty fast over there with all the beach clubs popping up.
Yep. And speaking of beach clubs, you played for Outrigger, which just so many epic players have come out of that. What was your experience there?
I mean, that's the best place in the world.
Yeah.
Not only just obviously for the volleyball aspect, but just the everyday life, like getting to go down there, hang at the beach, hang at, basically a country club on the ocean is pretty special. It's where our parents would just drop us off
Yeah.
and they would get to go do their own thing and just leave their kids there at the beach. And I think that was, the huge part of why so many of us have come out of there being top level athletes is because we spent our whole days down there just fooling around being little athletes and with a ball in our hands.
Yeah. Excellent. And when did you first discover volleyball?
I mean, since the day I was born, my dad played professionally. Uh, his brother coached, was the assistant coach for the '88 Olympic team.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
my cousin Lindsey, who was a setter for the national team, and a bunch of my other cousins played in college or on the AVP circuit. So I was kind of born into a volleyball family.
Nice. So basically, you have the Crabs and the Shojis. They're just the volleyball families on the island.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the McLaughlins, if you haven't heard of them.
No.
And the funny thing is our three families all live within one block of each other.
Get out.
Yeah, so the Sojis and us, we live on the same street, probably about 8 houses away.
Yeah.
And then the McLaughlins live probably 2 streets away, but still 10 houses away.
Oh, that's crazy. And looking back, what has the hook volleyball had on you to, make it turn into such a, a great career for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, exactly what I said is I grew up just going down to the beach and having fun with my friends. And that's what I enjoyed doing. And that's what made me fall in love with the game. I didn't have a beach coach until I started on the AVP. So 2015,
Yeah.
16. Uh, so for me, it was just all for fun
Yeah.
and made me fall in love with the game. And that's what I mean, I still love it. That's why I still play. And, it'll always be special to me.
Nice. Now, from what I understand, you wanted to be a hitter, but you got stuck being a setter.
Yeah. So my uncle, my dad's brother, he, when I was about 12 to 14 years old, I always wanted to be the outside hitter. But and I'm still to this day not sure if he was trying to be uh nice to me, but he said that the best player should touch the ball every time, which the setter always gets to.
Yeah.
Not sure if he was trying to change me to setter because I was too small to being outside at that
Yeah.
point. I was tiny at that age. I was also playing up a couple of
Oh,
years.
wow. And what was the draw for you to wanting to be the hitter?
I mean, I think it's just every person's dream, right, is to get the kill,
Yeah.
be the big hitter. They get all the credit in the world. But yeah, it's unfortunate because liberos, middles, setters, everyone has a job and everyone should get the credit.
Yeah. And that, from what I understand, one day some kid that was a hooper showed up and he got stuck being a setter and let you play the outside.
Yeah, that's true.
And speaking of that kid, so Micah was on, and he was talking about he always wanted to be a hitter because when you walk into a gym, you hit the ball, heads that makes heads turn. As a setter, you're not making heads turn. So, but he did want me to ask you. I was telling him you were coming on. He goes, back in the days, he said, did you guys have more epic battles with hotel bed volleyball or the club volleyball tournaments? And he also said you guys had pretty, some crazy Royal Rumbles going on.
Oh my God. Hopefully he didn't tell you too many stories.
No, no, he said to ask you those questions, so that was it.
You're the one to tell the stories. Uh, I mean, we were just, teenage boys being
Yeah.
teenage boys in the hotel room. With, we were on the same basketball team
Oh, nice.
uh, since we were 11 years old. So I actually knew him from basketball even before he started playing volleyball.
Yeah.
We club basketball when we were 11, all the way till we graduated. And then he started playing volleyball late and we started playing volleyball together. So I got to spend every summer with him from we were 10 to 18 years old, going on road trips and, like you said, in hotel rooms, bored out of our minds. So
Yeah.
we'd rate volleyball games and, like he said, Royal Rumbles, or we would, we would just get sometimes like our whole team in one room and just
Oh God.
absolutely have a huge wrestling match.
Nice. And now, were you the reason he came to volleyball? Did you twist his arm and say, "Hey, I need a setter so I can go hit"?
No, no, I didn't say that. He gravitated towards it, and from the moment he started playing, he started playing for a different club his very first year of volleyball, and from that moment, like everyone knew he was going to be a great player. That's just who he is and the family that he comes from. He's a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Anything he does, he's going to be perfect at it, and he's going to be great at it.
Yeah.
So you could see that from the first moment he touched the volleyball.
Yeah. And I have to say, when he was on, he was so humble, so gracious, such a nice person. And then I got to see him live play up in Ottawa last year, and he's a lion. When he gets fired up, you don't want to cross paths with him.
He's the last guy you want to piss off on the court or off the court.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, I can't say enough good things about him. Like you said, he's the most down the earth, humble guy. When you're talking to him, you'll never hear about how good he is or what he's done. A great friend, a great teammate, and that's why everyone respects him so much.
Yeah. And after high school, college was next. What was your recruitment process like, and what made you pick Long Beach?
Yeah, so I got recruited by about five schools, USC, Santa Barbara, Irvine, Hawaii, Long Beach were the top five. And to be honest, a big reason was Allan Knipe at the time was the Olympic coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that for my junior and senior year, he would be coming back, and I wanted to be coached by him. So that was a big reason. And also, my brother transferred there after he played basketball his first year.
Oh
So
wow.
had a brother there and some family there. But yeah, I just felt like the right fit after my recruiting trip, meeting the guys, meeting the team and the whole school. It was just yeah, felt like home.
Yeah, I had Dustin Watton on last week, and he just, it sounded like Allan had such a positive impact on his life. And then I had Nick McRae on a few weeks ago. Same thing, just, he just tries to hang out with the Long Beach people because of just Allan and what he's built around there.
Yeah, I think the world of Allan as a coach, as a person. I have him to thank for, I mean, almost my whole college career and what I was able to do at Long Beach those last 2 years was all because of him and Tyler Hildebrand, who was the assistant coach at the time for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't be in the position I'm in today without those two.
Now, from what I understand, Tyler was always in your ear telling you you're too short to be a hitter.
That's correct. Yeah, so to give a little more backstory on that, he I didn't know about him or anything. And from the first day I was in the gym, he was kind of helping out volunteering. And so he wasn't even on the coaching staff. But anytime I went over to get water during a break, like he would be there and he would say, "Aren't you a little small to play outside?" I'm like, "What? Like, what is this guy
Who is
doing
this
here?"
guy?
Yeah, he's not even a coach. Like, let's get him out of the gym. So I mean, he didn't even say hi to me. He didn't say anything else.
Yeah.
That's all he said was, "Aren't you a little small to be an outside?" But he knew what he was doing because he knew it would kind of light a fire under me, and I would use it to kind of prove him wrong and prove everyone wrong. Who there were colleges that passed me up because they thought I was going to be too small to play outside, and they said that they would have to move me to libero, but that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to play outside.
Yeah, and I've heard about that. When when kids are looking at colleges, sometimes you got to be careful. A coach will say, "Hey, yeah, you come here," and then next, that like you said, that outside hitter is now a libero, which is like the worst thing a hitter wants to be.
Yeah, so I mean that's something I'm learning right now. Like I told you before we started, after my first college season as a coach and starting to recruit, like the the last thing that I want to do is needing to twist my words or lie to someone to get them to come. I feel like you just have to be straight up and honest, um, so that that doesn't happen
Yep.
because then like you all credibility goes away once a couple of those things happen
Yep.
where you do one thing and then another thing happens. The word gets out and that's not what I want to be known for.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's your credibility and who you are is what That's what you stand up for.
Right.
Yep. And now, for that first year, what were some of the challenges? Because you're coming in, you're leaving home, leaving the island, coming to the mainland, dealing with college ball. Sometimes the club players come into the college first year. They're coming from where they've been starting, and now you may have to accept a role where you're sitting, and it's a lot of stuff on a young athlete's shoulders.
Yeah, so I mean, and exactly that happened my first kind of 4, 5, 6 months. They brought me in, and so here's a more to the story about Tyler that I didn't know at the time. So he actually was the one that recruited me and wanted me. even though in my mind I thought this guy hated me.
Yeah.
Uh, so I get there and they are going to make the decision to leave me off the roster and to redshirt me. And Tyler's in the room, and apparently, this is what he says, that he closed the door and said that he's not leaving the room until Taylor Crabb is on the playing roster.
Wow.
So they ended up leaving me on the roster, but I wasn't playing or starting until probably 6 games into the season, where we were losing to UCLA, who was number one in the country at the time.
Yeah.
At home, we lost the first 2 sets and they subbed me in, and we ended up winning in 5, but not because like I won us the game or did anything that spectacular. I just came in and did my job, and we ended up winning the game. And from that point on, I started every game since. So it was, those first 5, 6 months were a grind, like moving to college, not being a starter at Outrigger at Punahou. I was, the guy. I got
Yeah.
set every ball. But kind of like what I said about Tyler telling me I'm too small to be an outside, I just tried to use all of that to the best of my ability to make me better and to seize, the moment when it came.
Yeah. Awesome. And looking back over your years at Long Beach, what were some of the highlights that stick out for you?
Uh, I mean, it's just how like close knit the team was and our team culture, and still to this day, every single one of my teammates that I played with over the 4 years, I can say that they're a close friend, and we still hang out and talk to this day. I just saw one of them last night at Trader Joe's, Van Buren, and yeah, just even though we've obviously that time has passed, because of how close we became and how close that program is and what they do to create that culture, it's pretty special. It feels like, my second family.
Yeah. And now, if you could go back to freshman Taylor, what would you say
Uh,
with all the years experience now? Looking back, what would that drop of knowledge you would give him?
I mean, nothing, to be honest. It would just be do better at school.
Nice.
I just yeah, when I was there, I just got by.
Yeah.
But if I had to go back and tell him something, it would just be to put a little more effort into it, now that I am older. But
Yeah.
volleyball wise, that's one thing I guess can appreciate myself, is that I did do everything I could on the court, off the court, for volleyball. I have no regrets at all. So that's something I'm really proud of.
Nice. And speaking of volleyball and playing back then, as a 6 foot outside hitter, you couldn't just jump over everybody and pound and hit around things. What were some of the things that helped you, raise your hitting IQ to, tool and use the blocks and just hit around around the blockers?
I think it was, like we said, growing up. Like I didn't grow up with a very structured volleyball coach or plan. Like it was just me out there on the court
Yeah.
with my friends, and we'd literally just be trying different things. And so I was working on these different shots and tools since I was 8 years old, because I had to.
Yeah.
And even though I do jump pretty well and I have a quick arm, I'm not gonna overpower any of these blocks. So I knew that, and I had to create my game around that.
Yeah. Excellent. And now during that time while you're playing indoor, did you, keep up with the beach game? Did you play beach a lot, or really your focus was just, everything went into the indoor?
No, we would, at our rec center, we had a beach volleyball court. So whenever we had time off or in the off season, we'd grab a couple of the guys and go play beach at the rec. I didn't play in tournaments too much because during the summer I was still playing like with the USA junior team or
Hmm.
USA team, and uh, but my junior year and senior year I started to play a little more. That's when my brother and I played in the Manhattan Beach qualifier, and we were able to qualify and then play Phil Bellhauser and Sean Rosenthal
Oh,
first
wow.
morning at 8 a.m. on Stadium Court. That was like still to this day like a dream come true.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's so cool. And after college, what was your plans? From what I understand, you went over and played pro for a little while.
Yeah, I played 1 year in France.
And how was
Uh,
that experience?
it was great. I loved it. It's definitely a tough situation to go overseas and live by yourself in a
Yeah.
new country with a new language, new coach, like totally different system. But I love those moments. Like they definitely make you stronger, and you learn a lot about yourself during those times.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I hear from a lot of the players that are playing over there now or have played there, that it's lonely, especially if you're places where English isn't the main language and, like I had Mike Marshman who was over in Finland, I think. It's dark half the year and it's just a lot of time on your own.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for me, the town I was in was super small, but it was an awesome town. Like a little fisherman town on the water in
Nice.
southern. Yeah, great team, great coaches. I couldn't say enough good things about that's town, the team, and all my teammates at the time.
Yeah. And now after that year you came back home, was your plan to, make it on the, go play pro beach?
So the plan was to play indoor still
Yeah.
because I wanted to play indoor for as long as I could before moving to the beach. Um, but here's a funny story that there were some people that weren't too happy with me, but it's just the way it shook out, I guess.
Yeah.
So I come back that summer and I'm training to be on the Pan Am team. Uh, and I go to the practice the first day, and after that, it's like a 3 to 4 day tryout.
Mhm.
After the first day, I leave and there's a beach tournament the next day in San Diego. And I was going to play with Spencer McLaughlin at that tournament. And I basically just decided that afternoon after that practice that I was done with indoor volleyball.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell anyone. So I drove down to San Diego to play with Spencer, and I didn't show up the next day.
Oh shoot.
And obviously my phone was blowing up like, Taylor, where are you?
Yeah.
It's like I'm playing beach. See ya.
Oh my God.
So that was kind of the start of my beach career.
Okay. And now, with beach, from what I understand is like when you go play pro indoor, you just, sign up with the team, everything's all taken care of essentially. But beach, you're like your own entrepreneur, small business. You've got to figure out, your travel, sponsors, finding a partner, all that's on you.
Yeah, it's not fun. Like people don't understand what actually goes into being a beach volleyball player. Like just practicing and training for the game is 15-20% of it.
Yeah.
Stuff like you you don't have like the top teams have a coach that'll kind of set everything up. But if you're not the top three or four teams, you're setting up your own practices, you're texting, calling guys to see who can practice. You got to bring all your equipment. You got to figure out on your own what you're going to practice and drills and like set up the whole organization aspect of it.
Right.
So it's all on you to figure out how to get better, what you need, and I mean that's just the practice part. Then, like you said, there's the travel logistics, like when do you want to get to the tournament? How do you get to the tournament? Are you renting a car? What hotel are you staying at? Uh, Setting up practices when you get there, texting people more. It's like it's pretty chaotic.
Yeah. And then also not to mention the partner. You've got to find a partner who's willing to commit to this as well. And, you got to somewhat get along with them too.
Luckily, I haven't had that issue, but I know a lot of people. Yeah, it's a tough and brutal part of the sport is that whole partner dynamics and uh, people always think grass is greener on the other side and
Yeah,
they think play better with someone else, but it doesn't always shake up that way and people take it pretty personally. But at the end of the day, you have to see it as basically like a business decision.
yeah,
Like you can't take it personal and fault the person for making in their minds a better business decision.
yeah. And those first 1 or 2 years, was there a particular tournament that you did well in? Is like, hey, I can make this a living, or was it just a gradual increase of rank, seeding higher and doing better tournaments that allowed you to think, yeah, I can make this my career?
So the whole plan was that summer after France, um, was to play with Spencer in the smaller tournaments, get more AVP points, then start entering the qualifiers for the AVP, qualify a couple times, and once I had enough points to team up with my brother,
Yeah,
uh, so that we'd be in the main draw, and then kind of go from there. And I mean, that's what happened. Like, I think a lot of people think that I was, I don't know, just put into a good position, but well, me and Spencer, we were traveling to the CBVAs, we were going to the AVP next at the time to win those to get bids into the qualifiers or AVPs. We were in the qualifiers of I lost the first round of the AVP qualifier that me and Spencer played in New Orleans. But then after that, we qualified for Seattle, we qualified for New York. And after that, I started from the bottom
yeah,
and worked my way up. And then I partnered with my brother for the Manhattan Beach Open. We were like the 16th seed or 15th seed. And we took a third. We had probably my favorite match of all time was against Jake and Casey on Saturday evening for the fifth place match. And as the sun's going down, stadium packed, we're the new kids against two greatest U.S. players ever, and we beat them in three. But I mean, ever since that tournament and win was kind of, it gave me a lot of confidence and made me believe I could do it.
nice. And jumping back to that New Orleans one where you didn't qualify, you first of all you had to put in the grind. Nothing was handed to you, but like again, once you're on your own, you go to New Orleans. Now you've just you lose in the first round or whatnot. You just all that money is spent, and now you just turn around and go home.
Yeah, well, actually, that night I flew out to Detroit because that was where the men's uh, nationals was.
Okay.
Throughout that night to go play men's nationals on a team. So I went back to indoor just to play. But yeah, I
Oh,
mean, it was it's look, it's not easy not being a top 4 or 6 team for beach volleyball.
yeah,
Like you're grinding to make ends meet. Uh, but you should know that once you get in it. I think there's too many people right now that are complaining about where beach volleyball is.
mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's been that way. If you weren't a top 12 team, you weren't making money, even back in the old days
Yeah,
when it was, super good. The money was great. I don't, that's just not right.
yeah.
But yeah, it's nobody's given anything and you gotta work for everything.
Yeah, and I'm old enough. I remember those days of beach. I remember watching, Karch and Steve Timmons and Randy Stokes. That was, for me when I think of beach volleyball, that was like, mind you, where I lived in Eastern Canada, that was the only time we ever saw beach volleyball was those moments.
Yeah, yeah, for
So
sure. I mean, those days were unbelievable to watch and but even still, like I was saying, the money back then it seemed better, but it was more top heavy.
yeah,
You see guys winning 100 grand, but if you look at, the rest of the payouts, it wasn't that much.
yeah. And now, and then along with AVP, you also are, part of Team USA. So I didn't know about the whole you just left indoors Team USA. So you came back to playing beach and represented Team USA. What was that path?
So same exact thing, in my, I guess my AVP career for my USA career and to get on the FIVB tour, uh, I had to work my way up just the exact same way by playing in the Norseca tournaments first, going to, all the smaller little countries. We went to St. Louis, St. Lucia, Dominican, and my brother and I were just grinding over there trying to win those and
Yeah.
then hopefully gain enough points to get into the qualifier of the bigger events, which were the opens at the time. We went to my first ever FIVB was in China with my brother, and
Wow.
we took a ninth place. We got to play the Lion King, Samoilovs and Smedins. And, I just remember watching him in the Olympics and, his nickname is the Lion King. He would do his roar. Next thing I know, I'm playing him in my first FIVB tournament was unbelievable. And they absolutely crushed us
Yeah.
like 21-11, 21-13.
Oh shoot. Oh,
No, it was the same thing. So Norseca tournaments to what people don't know now is that before it was even more brutal. They we had these things called country quotas. I don't know
hmm.
if you're familiar with them, where
No.
so a country can only have a max of 4 teams in a tournament. So that means if 3 teams are already in, you're playing off your own country for that fourth spot.
Oh wow.
But you do it at the tournament site.
So you have to fly there, play your country, and if you lose, that's it.
You don't even get in the tournament.
Wow.
So, I mean, and that's what my brother and I were doing. We had enough points to be entered into the tournament, but then we were the fifth or sixth team where we'd have to fly there and play against our own one of our other country's teams for a spot to get into the qualifier.
Yeah.
Then we'd have to qualify to get into the tournament.
That's crazy. Please tell me that USA picked up those travel costs, that they didn't all fall on you guys.
Absolutely not.
Holy crap.
Hmm.
Wow. That
So,
is it's kind of not right.
and yeah, it did make sense in the FIVB's mind because they don't want a tournament with 6 US teams and
Right.
6 Brazil teams and 4 Italian teams or whoever had the most teams at the time.
Yeah.
Uh, Now it's a little different because there's so many countries with such good teams there. You're not seeing, you know, 8 Brazil teams in the top 15 anymore,
Yeah.
although I still see a lot, but yeah, so it made sense from that point, but a lot of the players then kind of not boycotted, but fought back and said, why do we have to fly to the place? Why can't we just do it, you
Right.
know, so before and decide who's going then? But then it came down to USA, like, well, then we have to pay for it, we have to get the refs, and then that whole thing came in. But they did start doing that, which obviously helped a lot of the players not have to pay to fly over
Right.
to anywhere in Europe.
And with, say at any point did, USA pick up the cost, like with the top four teams, or it always fell on to the athletes to do that?
You had to take a 17th or better. So as long as you didn't take last place, you would get the travel stipend.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, so it wasn't even a for sure thing, even if you
Right.
were.
And
But
that
now,
what? Oh, sorry.
so that was before when I was working my way up. It
Yeah.
it changed probably, I'd say 5 years ago now, to where now we have like a dedicated beach national team, and
Hmm.
if you're one of those beach national team members, you get the travel stipend regardless of finish.
Okay. When you look at indoor, you probably it's more prevalent when like I asked this to a lot of players, talk about when you go play other countries, you'll see different styles of play. Is it similar to beach when you started playing the FIVB and you started playing other countries? Was there a different style of game they had on the beach, or was it just you play to your strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Every country has a different style, and you can see it pretty easily. Um, I think what I appreciate about Tyler Hildebrand,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he's the best coach in the world, my favorite coach, is that he is a true student of the game and he watches the whole world to see what they're doing, what the top teams are doing, uh, collects it all, and then he's able to teach us.
That's cool. Excellent. And now, going further down the FIV path, you for Team USA, you made it. You're qualified for Tokyo. What was that? How did that all come together? Was there a tournament, a play-in tournament, or just enough points and you sort of got your ticket punched?
It was a grind. I remember we were in the Czech Republic for the last qualification tournament, and we needed to tie Phil and Nick the result, and we would have been automatically in. So they actually lost in pool play, so they took last. So we knew we were in.
Oh wow.
So right when they lost, Jake and I were in the player room eating lunch, and we were watching it on our little phone. We saw them lose, and we stood up, and he gave me a hug. He said, "Congrats, my first Olympics," and obviously I said, "Congrats to him." And we then lined up with Brazil to play in the first round of playoffs.
Yeah.
And then my brother needed, I think, a third or second or first a medal in the tournament. And if they did that, they would have passed Nick and Phil and been in the Olympics.
Yeah.
We were playing Brazil. If we would have won, we would have matched up with my brother in the fifth place round.
Oh shoot. That's wild.
Everyone was asking me and thinking like, "Oh, if you win, what are you gonna do for the next round? Are you gonna let your brother win?" But luckily we lost
Yeah.
to Brazil because I don't not I would never throw a game or anything,
Yeah.
but it's a very hard match to play,
Yeah.
especially knowing kind of what was on the line for
Yeah.
my brother.
Absolutely. And now, I'm curious, in those qualifiers or when you're playing over in Czechoslovakia and whatnot, are the crowds, are large crowds there, or the crowds are really on the AVP side where you see the, people showing up?
Kind of just depends.
Yeah.
Some countries are better than others. Austria has some of the best crowds in the world. I mean, the way they set up their tournaments is unbelievable. They have courts across like, you know, a mile long, and then all around is like a mini village.
Yeah.
So we're hanging out, drinking, eating. There's other stuff to do. And, I'll never forget in the stadium court, it's like 5 to 10,000 people. And on top of the stadium is girls with fire hoses. And they're spraying the crowd down because it was like 100 degrees.
Oh, wow.
Everyone's there just having a good time. So like we got places like that, but then we go to other places and there's not one person in the crowd.
That's got to be tough, those games.
Those are the hardest games to play because you feel like you're at a practice or something
Yeah.
where not a ton of energy. You kind of have to get yourself going, but it's just kind of awkward. But
Yeah. Wow.
just you got to learn how to deal with it.
Yep. And now, going back to Tokyo just for a minute here, you made it, you got qualified, and unfortunately you tested positive over there. That must have been heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, still to this day, I struggle with it all. If I'm being completely honest,
Yeah. Who
is
wouldn't?
yeah, I mean, it's my the biggest goal, my biggest dream I had, the reason why I was playing. And yeah, like I said, the one goal I had in this sport was to make the Olympics and represent USA and hopefully medal. And
Yeah.
basically got there and had it taken away from me. So yeah, I mean, still struggle with it. Still dealing with a lot of emotions about it.
Yeah.
I talked to a lot of people, and they help me. There's been moments, a lot of moments where I just wanted to quit volleyball altogether.
Yeah.
Mm,
Well,
leave
I'm
it alone.
glad you didn't because,
Yeah,
look at, you're still playing and doing well and everything like that. And, coming back from Tokyo, did you, were you, did you take a break or did you just jump back into the AVP and sort of put the FIVB, to the side?
yeah, I didn't really get to have a break because we still had the AVP season to finish up. I was still obviously had to finish out the season with Jake. He was retiring, so this was our last couple tournaments together. So from Tokyo, we were right back on the AVP, and yeah, I never really had that full-on break from volleyball that maybe I needed.
Hmm.
Uh, and then I was kind of back on the FIVB because I was teaming up with Taylor Sander after and uh, wanted to get points with him. So yeah, I think this past kind of 6 months or so, I did take a step back from the FIVB just to really decide kind of what I want to do with my future. If I do want to push for 2028 or
Yeah.
if I want to let that part go.
And have you decided yet or you're still formulating that plan?
Still formulating it. It goes back and forth every day.
Yeah.
I don't some days. I do. Uh, for me, it's if I have the right partner, um, then I would go all in for it.
Yeah. All right. Fair answer. And now, you're gearing up for a new season at AVP. Who you playing with this season?
Still Taylor.
Yeah. And now, when you sort of get ready or get start looking at the upcoming season, do you have a regular routine you get into, or you just sort of get together and just play some ball?
Yeah, I'm not an anomaly, but I'm the wrong guy to ask that. I could go out there and I feel like I don't need to practice. Like I step on that court, I'm ready to go no
Yeah.
matter what. Uh,
Nice.
so yeah, I mean, even just this year, now that, I was coaching at St. Mary's, I got in a total of three legit practices this whole year. And we have the AVP coming up this weekend,
Yeah.
so it'll be interesting to see how I do. The part I'm scared about most is just the cardio
Yeah.
conditioning aspect of it. The volleyball part, I think it comes easy to me.
Yeah. And at this point in your career, do you still get excited for it, or is it just like, let's just go play some ball?
Definitely excited for it. I mean, with everything the AVP is doing, all the new changes, I couldn't be more happy about the owners and what they're trying to do for beach volleyball and the AVP. I know they've been getting a lot of backlash and but they I know I speak to one of them, the owners, once a month, and I can tell you that he, one, truly cares about the sport, and two, truly cares about the players and wanting them to make a living through beach volleyball. And
Nice.
that's what they're trying to do. And I would suggest to everyone to hop on board.
Yeah. Well, they got the TV contract, right? That's a huge boost.
Huge thing. CW, so we'll be on CBS. And yeah, it's from what I know, it's a great deal.
Yeah.
Where
Definitely.
they were able to get that because that's big for sporting events to be on TV so more eyes can see and to gain new fans
Hmm.
and everyone says to grow the sport.
Yeah. And now, from what I understand is maybe, I'm just my lack of knowledge of it. So the AVP is almost like two sections, right? You have the normal tournament during the season, and then there's the league where two players represent a certain city or something like that.
Yeah, so there's for the league, there's 8 cities, and each city will have a men's and women's team. So 8 teams total.
Yeah.
They'll play the regular season is they'll play each city once, and then you'll play your rival twice. So we're the New York Nitro. We'll play Brooklyn twice.
Yeah.
Mm. And then from there, the top 4 or 6 teams will make the final week for the championship. And
That's
then other than that, there's only a couple other tournaments to play in. So that's where all the kind of the backlash comes from because if you're not in the league, the top 8 teams, then there's kind of nothing for you.
yeah.
Um, but it's just starting and they can't run a league with 20 teams right out of the gate. They have to kind of prove the system
Yeah.
and product of what they can do, and then from there they can grow it. So
Yeah.
definitely going to be some growing pains and some unhappy people, but I think hopefully in the end it'll all work out for everyone.
Well, and it's not like those people are being, just not able to win tournaments or anything. They can still go through, win tournaments, and take the purses home. It's just this separate sort of league thing, right?
Right. I mean, yeah, so the top 4 teams from last year are automatically in, which leaves 4 spots for teams to qualify to
Yeah.
get in the league. Um, so everyone has a fair chance to earn their spot in the league,
Yeah.
but it's slim. But I mean, if you want to get there, get better.
Yep. Absolutely. And now, for you, for doing this so many years now, what are some of the more challenging things to deal with as a pro beach player?
Um,
Is it the logistics, the sponsorships? That's the heavy weight every year trying to do.
the sponsorships for sure are probably the hardest part, just because I don't have an agent, so everything I do is on my own,
Yeah.
uh, reaching out to brands. I do have one of my best friends I grew up with since kindergarten. He works as my agent. He helps me, with all those things from my website to reaching out to companies, talking to people who email me through my website, and it takes a lot off my plate. So I'm super grateful to have him and have him help me out. But yeah, other than that, like it's like we were talking about before, like being a beach volleyball player, you're kind of all on your own. You're your own team. You don't have a lot of people around you to help you out with that stuff.
Yeah. And speaking, you're having a lot of people around you. That's one of the things I've noticed. When you think about people playing on the indoor game, if you have a bad game, you could be subbed out, or you got other players to pick you up. On beach, it's you and your partner. You look over, like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean that's why it's important to have the right partner for you who knows you and can support you in the way that you need to be supported,
Yeah.
whether it is yelling at you or um, telling you compliments, whatever it is that you need, you got to have the right partner because when times get tough, that's the only other person that can help you out is your
Yeah.
partner.
Absolutely. And speaking when times are tough, what's your go-to to reset after a few bad plays? Whether, and was it the same sort of mindset when you played on indoors when you had a few bad plays? What was your go-to?
Uh, Telling myself that I suck,
Yeah.
figure it out. Yeah, I mean that's like I said, why uh, I appreciate what Tyler was saying to me my whole career is that aren't you too small? He knew what he was doing. He knew the kind of guy I was, and when someone tells me that I'm not good enough or uh, whatever it is, that I'm gonna figure out a way to do it.
Yeah. And I,
Anytime I get in a rut, that's kind of what I do to myself. I'm like, come on, dude, figure it out. You suck right now.
yep. That's, and every player has their own way of, resetting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And looking back, what any particular match really sticks out as that one, like, holy cow, you talked about the one in the sun setting, 5,000 people. Was that one of your most, memorable matches?
I mean, definitely top three.
Yeah.
Uh, there's that one. Uh, there's obviously probably, I mean, anytime I got to play against Phil and Nick. So 2018 Manhattan Beach Finals. Uh, Jake and I still ended up losing, but that was one of my favorite matches of all time.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't really look at results the same way as everyone else. Like obviously I want to win. I'm trying to win every tournament, but at the end of the day, like that's not why I play the game.
Yep. And now, is there a particular tournament you always look forward to in the over the calendar year, or a certain certain city you enjoy to play in?
I mean, tournament, it's got to be Manhattan Beach for sure, just because of the legacy and
Mm-hmm.
everything around it. But city, well, now we don't have as many tournaments like we used to. Now they're league venues.
Yeah.
Um, but if I had to say city, it would be New York or Chicago is up there.
All right. And now, this one's really for, and if you look back on any of the teams that have retired, who was your nemesis? Because we don't want to tell any players you're playing now who your nemesis is, but who was the nemesis of retired players?
Um, I mean, I gotta go Phil, even though he's still playing this, he said this is his last year. I gotta say Phil, like Nemesis in a good way.
Yeah.
Every time I match up against him, like I get so excited because of how good he is
Yeah.
and what he brings out of me. In order to beat him, I have to be at my best. And I mean, that's just something I learned to appreciate is that he's so good that if you don't play at your best, you're not going to beat him.
Yeah.
I appreciate that challenge.
All right. And then the other thing that as a as a beach player, you're sort of again all on your own. What have you done for like injury prevention, just taking care of your body? Any specific recovery tools or things you've learned over the years?
I mean, I work with a personal trainer that I've worked with since I was probably like a junior in high school. So he's back in Hawaii, but he'll still send me, any rehab, prehab, or workouts that I need. And obviously, since I've been with him for so long, he knows my body, so I can send him a text of kind of what's bugging me or
Yeah.
what's sore, and he'll know right away. So anything he sends me, I can do, and it'll make it better.
All right, excellent. And now, do you have any pre-game rituals? Certain music playlists, a certain meal you need to have before every tournament or game. You just show up and play.
Just luck out there.
Nice. And speaking of walking out there, if they had intro music, intro songs for you guys, what would your intro song be?
Oh man, yeah, I'm not a huge like pump up music guy.
Yeah,
I love music, and obviously like I listen to it when I travel on the road or in my car when I'm driving, but like I don't specifically, turn my headphones on when I need to be pumped up and
yeah.
listening.
All right.
I don't like getting pumped up like that.
Okay, there we go. Now, after, so you're doing the beach. After beach is all done, you've picked up coaching. You're coaching. How was that experience for you, and what led you to do that?
I mean, it was super random. So the story was I'm back at home in Hawaii in December at the Outrigger. My brother and I are watching football at the Outrigger, and the head coach of St Marys, uh, who we've known for since I was a kid, just a good family friend who's a Outrigger member and played volleyball. She's a Hall of Famer, Janice Hare. Uh, walks up to my brother and I and basically offers us both the job because the assistant coach at the time just left randomly,
Oh
abruptly. So
wow,
they're you know trying to find an assistant coach as fast as they could because in a month their season was starting.
right.
So my brother and I were basically like last resort, bottom of the barrel guys, I guess. Uh, but it just intrigued me because of how everything else in my life was lining up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Sander went back to indoor for a quick contract to play in Indonesia from December to now.
Mm-hmm.
I knew he was going to be gone for this period of time. And if I, came back up here, my normal time, I'd just be training with random people for 4 months,
Yeah.
and that didn't seem that fun to me. And she presented us or me with this opportunity, and I was like, oh, this could be a perfect opportunity to see if I even like coaching, if it's something I want to do after I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I accepted it within probably like 4 or 5 days.
And how was the experience? What did going into it? Had you coached before, or was this really your first
Yeah,
time?
I mean, I've done my own like camps and clinics, and I've helped out with a couple teams. I've like coached a couple pro teams like in the qualifiers.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing of this magnitude, so I was so nervous. I flew here and packed all my stuff up and drove up north to where St. Mary's is. And on the drive, like when I parked my car to meet the team for the first time, they were practicing. Uh, they were halfway through their practice, and I walk over, and my heart was just
Oh,
pounding. Like I was so nervous. Because I didn't know if I was doing the right thing or if I was going to be good at it. Like the last
right.
thing I want to do in any such situation in life is to do something and not be good at it. Like
Yep.
that's just uh, and to be honest, like I was after this year, I would call it like I was mediocre at best, I'd say. Like there's a lot of growing pains, there's a lot of figuring out to do.
Yep.
A lot of being a coach, a collegiate coach, like is I don't know if I had to put a number on it, like 25% coaching volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
Rest is same thing like logistics and team management, compliance and
Oh
admission,
yeah.
a bunch of other things. When coaching the specific volleyball aspect of it is such a small portion. Um, so obviously I thought I was okay at the coaching volleyball part. Um, but everything else, like, I felt like I was trying to juggle a
Trying to
million
keep your
things.
head above water.
Uh, but I mean, the girls and the team, they made it like as fun as possible. Like I couldn't have asked for a better, I guess, first season of coaching a college team.
Nice. And you're going to go back next year?
And I guess I was decent enough for them to ask me to come back. So
Excellent.
give it another season with them, and I'm excited for it because I'll get a whole fall with the
Mm-hmm.
team, which I feel at that specific time is better for growth and how to get better, which is what I think I'm good at of teaching. Because once season starts, you're kind of focused on gameplay and competing and
Yep.
not so uh, trying to get better too much. You're trying to stay at a certain level where you can compete at a high level.
Yep. Absolutely. And now, away from the court, I guess not really away from court, you have a couple of, side things you guys do. You and your brother have this celebrity side out.
It's me and Sander.
You and Sandra have this celebrity side out. What is
Yes.
that?
We uh we met this guy. His name is Corey. His DJ Spin Easy. He's international DJ. He was Snoop Dogg's DJ, like pretty famous DJ, and he approached us in Miami and uh like kind of felt how big we were in the beach volleyball world. We're like, hey, like people would one love to get the opportunity to play with you and against you and be coached by you. So why don't we try to create these events where these people can do all three of those? So that's how it kind of started with Celebrity Side Out, where one day on Saturday, we go to the city and all the local players around can sign up to play in a tournament against us.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll kind of mix and match so we can play with them. And then on Sunday we do a clinic where they can learn from us.
Nice. Yeah, and that's a great opportunity because as a spectator or even an athlete that's playing, I wonder how good are those pros really are. So it's that opportunity is like, oh shit, they hit that ball pretty hard.
I mean, yeah, come next time we come to your city, sign up and see if you can take us down.
Yeah, there we go. And now, the other thing that you were a part of with your brother was the resurrecting. Are you going to be resurrecting the whiskey with the crabs?
Uh, I mean, I don't know. Now that I'm a coach, I might have to. Hopefully, my players haven't found that account.
Yeah.
But we've actually talked about it. So the reason why it kind of stopped was our videographer and editor, who was filming it all, moved. He lived in California, now he lives in Hawaii.
Oh,
So
okay.
we don't have one anymore. But it's not out of the picture. We would like to get a couple episodes here and there.
Nice. And now, I had your neighbor on a while ago. Him and Taylor Averill have this thing, toughest position in volleyball. So,
Yeah.
Taylor, for the indoor, what is the toughest position in volleyball?
Uh, Middle blocker for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, hands down.
Yeah. Especially in today's game, so much out of system passes. And when you do get that middle set, you got to be there.
Yeah. I mean, not just that, it's you're jumping every play, whether you get set or not. And then just read blocking as a middle right now in today's game is, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think it's even a debate.
All right, there we go. And now, away from the court, what are some of the things you enjoy to do when you have downtime?
I mean, I still go down to the beach and play for fun. There's a good group of guys here that, it's called 21st Street. It's just one of the streets down here in Hermosa. They go down every Monday and Thursday and play. The older guys play doubles on the big court, so it's old school. And then in the afternoon, more people come down and they play fours. So I'll go down and just fool around with them and play some fours. Uh, just hanging out with my friends. I don't know, I'm a pretty chill, relaxed dude. I don't like to do too much.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Well, hey, I really appreciate coming on. But before I let you go, like with past guests, I look for somebody in your volleyball circle that you think would have a good story to come on and share.
I think yeah, Jake Gibb or Rich Lamborn
All
would
right.
be.
And who are they?
Jake Gibb was my old partner, four-time Olympian. Uh, and Rich Lamborn was our coach, uh, 2008 indoor libero gold medalist at the Olympics. So
All right.
both be great to have on here and share a lot of stories, and could even get maybe another story about me from them.
All right. There we go. Well, Taylor, I really appreciate it. And good luck this season on the tour. And maybe we'll have to. Now, you will be playing up in New York? I'm assuming twice.
Yeah, so Central Park and East Hamptons.
All right. Well, maybe we'll have to take a trip to East Hampton and check it out.
Yeah, let me know if you make it there, and we'll take care of you.
All right. Well, hey, again, good luck and thank you so much.
Yep, no problem.
Hey, she's a beauty.